Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. And with me today, we have some wonderful men who are bringing something brand new to the city of Miramar. It is all about esports, and it is the next biggest thing going. So first of all, let me introduce everyone. We have Aaron Lee. He is Pythos CEO and co-founder. We have Matthew Matster Gamer. I get it, Matthew. Lee. He is a Madden Pro player, content producer, and EA commentator, also a Pythos Premier coach and course developer. We have Saul Mena RD. He's Street Fighter 5 world champion, or is that Street Fighter V, maybe? Pythos Premier coach and course developer. Ryan Mahia, a club manager and coach. And last but not least, our very own Philip Pratt from the City of Miramar. He is a recreation leader for Miramar Parks and Rec. So welcome to the show, guys. So happy to have you.
Thanks. We're excited to be here.
Good morning.
Good morning. So let me tell you, this has been something exciting that has been trying to come to the City of Miramar for a while. Aaron, tell us a little bit about Pythos and what you guys are going to be doing in our fair city.
Yeah, thanks for asking. We're really excited about it as well. It's something obviously that we're very passionate about. And really what this is about is creating a new opportunity for kids in Miramar to engage in a competitive sport in a way that maybe they have never been able to before, right? And there's a lot of youth sports that everyone's used to, and traditional youth sports. But the esports world is something that has really, come on and grown over the last decade into a really meaningful multi-billion-dollar type of industry. But there really isn't any structured way for most kids to actually start playing in esports. And so there's a lot of infrastructure for other sports, but there really has never been anything, professionally developed, professionally delivered for esports. And that's really what Pythos is all about.
Wow. And you mentioned a billion-dollar industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry. How did this come about and so quickly?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, esports has really been happening for decades, really, but it's really become very much more popular in the last few years. A lot of it has to do with actually the way that kids and this industry is watching this entertainment, right? And so with the opportunity for streaming, there's an audience right now for esports. So kids are not just interested in playing the games; they're also interested in watching their peers and their heroes like these guys actually play the games. And so between YouTube and Twitch and these other platforms, the opportunity to really create an audience for esports, and that's really what makes something a professional sport, right? It's not just people who are out playing it, but people who are out watching people play it as professionals and playing it at a different level. And that's really, I think, the thing that's really changed. And the advent of some of these games worldwide has created audiences that really combined are bigger than other entertainment channels when you think about it. So it's really amazing.
Right. And I guess it's because you can sit, from the comfort of your own home, or you could be at a convention and, there are thousands of people watching you around the world. So yes, definitely a chance for some people to shine, right?
Yeah, and there's entire literal stadiums, like tens of thousands of seat stadiums that are getting purpose built just for this industry. And so, it really, I think, took on more in Asia, is where it kind of got its grounding, Korea in particular, but it's really become a worldwide global, industry. And the US is really catching up quickly to the opportunity and what's happening here. There's a lot of money being put into this industry.
Wow. All right. So that's where Matthew Matster Gamer Lee comes in. So how long have you been a Madden Pro player? And what makes you a pro player? Is that someone who has won a whole lot of tournaments, or who just does it every day? Or, what makes you a pro player?
So I've been playing since Madden 17, which at this point, let's see, my first year of college, it's really it's about 6 years now. And, a lot of it just comes down from, there's almost a certain way you behave as a player when you're a professional. And eventually, after spending a good portion of your time and thought focusing on this topic, which is the game that I focus so much in Madden, you kind of start thinking in that professional manner. It stops being exclusively about fun and more about winning. And once you kind of have that pathway towards, oh, what really matters is winning, that's when you start going down that professional path. Like, okay, well, what's the way you optimize that? And how could I fix my own mistakes while also attacking the mistakes of the person I'm playing, right? And all those masses of people that I'm trying to beat in order to get to the top. To me, that's the professional side of it, is once you get into the mindset of the only thing that matters is winning.
Well, did this start, Matthew, as, recreation? Did it start as, once I finish my classes, I can come into my dorm room and, just relax? Like, how did you really get into being a pro player and wanting to take this to another level versus just, it's just recreation?
Well, for me, I've been playing games for quite a while. I remember having my primary hobby as playing video games when I was 4, with like Crash Bandicoots, the Ape Escapes, and the PS1s. And over time, as I got into like middle school, I played a lot of Call of Duty. And for a while, I just played Call of Duty. And ultimately, it wasn't until a few years into playing Call of Duty where the Call of Duty esport kind of took off, and I got really focused into that. And after playing Call of Duty for a couple of years, and Madden kind of on the side, what ended up happening was Madden kind of launched their own esport. And football's always been one of my passions. So I kind of just naturally started playing the game more and more, and then started streaming on Twitch in my college freshman year. And I made it a priority to get rank 1, and I did. And through doing that, I grew my stream, and through my stream, I met a lot of people. I just kind of stumbled across it. But, it spent a lot of time. I wouldn't say it ever remained a hobby, because I spent more than hobby time into games regardless. But it just kind of was this critical moment where I really attacked the competitive environment in a way where I kind of just met people, and through meeting people kind of learned to think in that professional manner. Again, like, to me, what's so important is not just playing the game a lot, but it's a way of thinking when you play the game that's very different to when you're playing casually. It's not just about trying to win, it's about trying to win in the best way possible.
So I would love to hear how that conversation went with your parents who were paying for you to go to school. And you said, you know what? I think I'm going to play video games for a living. How did it go?
I can actually answer that because I'm his father.
I know where that conversation happened.
Yeah.
You remember it, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you think, when he said that, Aaron, and you're like, I am spending all this money. I'm paying for dorm rooms. I'm paying for meal plans. And he wants to play video games for a living.
Yeah, I remember it distinctly. He came home for spring break in his freshman year.
It's not a conversation I'm remembering.
I love it.
I'll never forget that conversation.
Okay.
But obviously we had seen Matthew's aptitude towards gaming throughout high school and really, most of his childhood. And it was one of these questions that we knew Matthew was good at gaming, but we didn't know whether he was professionally good at gaming, right? And there is that distinction between being a casual gamer and being a professional, as you were just talking about. And when he did go to school and this new version of Madden came out, and he quickly became the #1 ranked player in Madden and was able to maintain that for a good period. My wife and I both said, this is something that he's passionate about, versus, trying to push him into a career that we just cared about, but what he would be miserable about. And looking into it and realizing that this was something that was becoming a legitimate, real career path. And not just even as a player, that's the beauty of esports, is there's a lot of careers around the player as well that are opportunities that we're excited about as well. And he came back to us at spring break and said, this is really my passion. This is what I want to do professionally. And, we both sat back and said, maybe we have to at least give him the shot, right? To go down this road and see. And he said, I don't think you should be spending that kind of money to send me to a private school and do all these things. I can still do that and be home and have this really be an area that I can focus on. And we decided to give him that chance.
That's awesome.
That's part of what Pythos is all about, honestly, just to kind of carry on, is that because of this unstructured way, he had to find his way. And, if you talk to a lot of pro players, there isn't a pathway if you is the same as if you wanted to be a soccer player or a baseball player or any other traditional sport. There's extensive infrastructure and resources and all of these things, and that just doesn't exist in esports. And so that's really the mission of Pythos, is to create a positive, structured way to expose kids into what being a professional in this world looks like.
Right. And of course, you are bringing it to the city of Miramar. It's the first esports program of its kind, built, taught, and coached by professional esports players. And folks can learn essential competitive gaming skills with live group coaching and courses. And it's a 10-week online winter season. I want to go now to Saul Mina RD. He is Street Fighter 5 world champion, also a Pythos premier coach and course developer. And Saul, what was your journey to this? Have you been playing games pretty much all your life as well, or was this something that just came to you recently?
No, I also have been playing games all of my life, especially with my brother and people from my neighborhood, my friends. I'm from the Dominican Republic, and here we have the culture of having, gaming centers and clubs and stuff. We used to play a lot ever since I was a child. And as soon as I got the chance to travel and to, experience the international competition, especially in the United States,
Mhm.
then I became a professional and was able to develop myself in a way of just playing. I didn't have, sadly, a course, a guidance. I didn't have a school to help me out and develop myself. And if I had, of course, it would have been way faster. But I still learned, and thankfully, it all worked out.
Right. And speaking of working out, how did it go over when you told, your family that this was what you were going to do?
Well, my father has been a cop for 40 years, and my mother was a marketing woman. So I finished school when I was 15 years old, and having to stop such a nice, way. I was gonna finish college when I was gonna be 20. I'm still doing it, but at the time, it's not what I wanted. It was not what felt right, and I felt like I had a real chance of doing something at esports in my country. It has never been done before,
Awesome.
but I went to the USA and was able to make it happen there, and the dream came true. So it worked out, and I got the world championship.
Awesome. And the reason why I asked that question is because, my background is journalism and working in radio, and I've been in it for 30 years. And when I told my mother that I was going to college to talk on the radio, she said, "Is that why you're going to school?" you know, and I was like, yeah, it's my passion. It's what I want to do. Obviously I've made a living with it for 30 years. And so, I think people have to go their own path, what they want and what would make them happy. And so obviously Saul, doing this professionally is something that you want to do, and you want to teach others how to do it as well, right?
Exactly. That's the thing. I have been helping develop the kids in my country, and telling parents, so showing them what esports is about. And it will definitely help if we have a sort of a way of showing parents, this is what your kid is going to learn. This is what he's supposed to learn. He can develop this talent. And it's not only, oh, he's gonna play video games and that's it. No, he's gonna develop pattern recognition. He's gonna develop reaction. It's a lot of things that go into helping a kid being good at esports. So I think if I had that, at least with my parents, it was gonna be way, way, way better. And I want to help other kids have what I didn't get when I was their age.
If you're just tuning in to Good Morning Miramar, first of all, welcome to the show. Don't forget, you can check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. And with us today, we have Aaron Lee. He is Pythos CEO and co-founder. Also, Matthew Matstergamer Lee. He's a Madden Pro player, content producer, and EA commentator. Also a Pythos Premier coach and course developer. We just heard from Saul Mina RD, Street Fighter 5 world champion, who's going to be a premier coach and course developer. And up next, we're going to talk with Ryan Mejia. He's a club manager and coach. Ryan, how did you get involved with esports?
Back in about, I want to say 2014, I was friends with someone who was into competitive Smash Brothers, and I saw how really into it he was, and I said, "Hey, man, let's have some of your friends over to play." And that was the catalyst for me running several house tournaments here in the city of Miami. That's where I cut my chops as a tournament organizer, and then it's just grown from there. I contract with a lot of larger tournaments around the country, Combo Breaker, CEO, yeah, the Evolution Championship Series.
Okay. And so you're going to be over the club, one of the club managers and coaches for the kids. And how do you expect for these kids to come in? Like, should they come in knowing what's going on, or do you guys actually teach them, from the very beginning? Because I know a lot of kids are interested in gaming and interested in doing sports this way, but maybe they don't know how to do it.
I imagine they'll be very green on it, very like what is going on, because as Aaron said, there really is no formal structure in esports and how to get into it, and there's no set pathway. A lot of things in the industry so far have been, it's a lot of chance meetings, it's a lot of meeting people and just knowing each other, and what we're building with Pythos will hopefully be a pipeline to pretty much get you on a pedestal and like a spotlight to give you a better opportunity, something that's more like official.
Okay. And Philip Pratt, our recreational leader for Miramar Parks and Recs. Philip, why did Miramar decide to do this? Like, what was it that was the catalyst that said, you know what, we have got to be in? I know, we know it's right here in Miramar and it always is, but to actually start this program in the city.
But it didn't start just from thin air. It actually started with an idea that we started in 2017. It was Parks and Recreation Month, and we needed something to do. I've always been involved and interested in gaming and esports in general. I've been trying to get it off the ground since about 2009. I had the opportunity, so I reached out to the community, and everyone basically funneled me to Ryan at Ryan Meja there. And we put on an in-person tournament called the Miramar Mix-Up. From that point on, we started holding one every couple months to the point we got to about 6 of them. And we went from having 50 people to having about 200 people. And this is all at the Youth Enrichment Center.
Right.
After that, we brought in a friend of his, Hector, another friend of his, Peter, and we wondered how can we make this, go to the next level. After some back and forth and figuring out how we're going to, approach this, we came up with the idea of doing this. And it kind of snowballed from there, and this is where we are now.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I have to ask, is it open to just, kids, students, or can adults also sign up?
I think it's ideally for grades like 6 through 12. It's really the sweet spot, just to make sure that we have a positive experience for everybody right now. We may certainly expand that in the future, but I think out of the gate, we really just want to make sure that everyone's sort of on a level playing field. And as Ryan was saying, making sure that we're starting from the ground level of making sure that everybody's on the same page. And so I think that's where we're going to start, and we can kind of, this might grow faster and bigger than we all can imagine, but that's where we want to start at least.
Okay. And so, Philip, how can people sign up? How can they sign up their kids from 6th grade to 12th to do this? And it's a 10-week course. So how can they get more information and sign up?
Information, you can find all the information online through if you go through Pythos actual portal. We'll have all the information up soon. I'm pretty sure we might be able to share it at the end of this program, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And once everything, right now, because of what the situation, everything is going to be virtual, of course. Okay. Hopefully, in the near future, hopefully when we get some kind of grounding or control of what's happening in the world, we can go back to in person. But right now, it's going to be virtual.
Okay. And so the website that we have is portal.pythos.gg/clubs/Miramar. Again, portal.pythos.gg/clubs/Miramar, or you can just go to their website, pythos.gg, and they will have more. And of course, it will be on our page as well, MiramarFL.gov. If you are a parent and you would love to sign your kid up for this 10-week course, is there a cost for this, and is it cost effective?
Yeah, so the registration fee for Miramar City residents is $135, and it's $160 for non-Miramar residents.
Awesome. So I'm so glad that we're opening it to other people as well. So again, we all know it's right here in Miramar. People want to be in the know. And of course, they can always go to www.pythos.gg, pythos.gg, to learn more. But it is going to be a great program for 10 weeks online winter season. It's open for registration now. And again, open for Miramar residents. You get a special price. If you're not a Miramar resident, you can still join, and you should become a Miramar resident so you can get that special price. But we are so happy to have Aaron Lee. He is Pythos CEO and co-founder. Matthew Matster Gamer Lee, Madden Pro player, content producer, and EA commentator. Also a Pythos Premier coach and course developer. Saul Mina RD, Street Fighter V world champion. He's going to be also a Premier coach and course developer. Ryan Mejia, the club manager and coach. So he's going to be really working with the kids, definitely all together online. And our very own Philip Pratt, who said he's been working on this since 2009. Way to go, Philip. You finally got it done. He's the rec leader for Miramar Parks and Rec. So you got it done. You persevered. You didn't give up. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right. And thank you all for joining today on Good Morning Miramar. I'm your host, Tamara G. And again, we'll see you next time on Good Morning Miramar. See ya.